Alright, here we are. Once again, we're gonna crank things up a notch, go for a 4-skull battle. And one interesting thing, so the recent patch to BTA has decreased max salvage to at most 4 that we can pick. And we're pretty low on funds. Actually, we don't have enough to avoid bankruptcy as it is right now with the next month. So we're going to go ahead and take as much payment as we can, even though this is a relatively heavy drop. Oh, I don't know, I say that, but... Alright, we have two options. We can take the money and pay for Argo upgrades, which we're still only a couple, 250 days in. So the Argo is not nearly fully upgraded. BTA adds a whole bunch more upgrades than vanilla game. Or we can go for salvage, try and get another mech online, but I think we're actually in a decent spot for that right now. So yeah, we're gonna go for the payment. Just get some reserve funds in the bank. It's usually a good thing anyway. Alright, and a little bit of a staffing change here. We're going to be getting rid of the fire starter and mongrel, just for right now. We're going to put slapdash and the axeman in that slot. So go right there with the axeman, and we're going to pop back up here and welcome announcer back. Let's see, just move him over one by one. And also this new Atlas AS7S, heavily modified. The initial movement speed on this thing was just way too slow. We didn't improve it by all that much, but even the one more on the max move is quite a big difference there. Put in a ferrofibrous from Clan, medium pulse, ER large laser, and an improved heavy Gauss rifle. This thing does not suffer the damage fall off that the regular heavy Gauss does, and is like a long range AC-20, but better. Admittedly high recoil, and we need to get announcer's gunnery skill up a little bit more. We haven't had him in combat for a while. Another medium pulse, SRM-6, a Clan LRM-20, and this is very interesting because, again, there's no minimum range on this LRM, so it's a significant upgrade in my opinion for an intended mid-range to close-range brawler design, as we have this guy set up for right now. Notably, this guy does have a ton more armor than everything else that we've got. I mean, the Marauder's decently heavily armored here with 1430, but 1880 takes the cake. So let's go ahead and jump into the mission. Okay, so we've dropped in, and once again we are right on top of the entire Op 4 here. In fact, some of them are, well, one of them, no, two of them are actually outside the map. So we're looking at a quick draw, a Merlin, which haven't seen that one in a while. Guillotine, always a classic, and a Rifleman 3R. And yeah, this is kind of why we were, I think, smart to take the money instead of the salvage. There's none of these mechs that I really have been looking for to add to our own lance. I really want a champion. I love that mech just personally, but it's also I tend to find that champions are highly functional. Okay, so we're entirely surrounded. This is nice. So we have one lance right on our side, and another lance coming to close it. And okay, that's a 100-tonner. So I wonder if that's an Atlas. Maybe we should have taken salvage after all. But yeah, this is all right. You can buy Atlas pieces for 700 or 800,000 from the faction store. Admittedly, it's a variant I don't like.
Holding for the right opportunity.
But it's still a possible purchase. So guillotine's moving. We're just gonna reserve down. Oh jeez, there's a third. You know, okay, it's been a while since we've been this badly outnumbered. Maybe the last episode I had to retake it because one of the times that I dropped there, I only ran into 2 clan mechs. I was sitting there thinking, okay, this is not the challenge that we had really come to face. And that might surprise some of you because I do tend to play things pretty safe on the actual drops, but that's sort of the point of it, right? Like, you build up when things are fragile, and then you take risks when you can, and we're stable enough now that even if we did take a risk, even with as little money as we have, we'd be able to just drop back down to a different planet, ease things up for a little bit, make some money back. There's no real reason to push the envelope here just for the money. I could make nearly as much on, say, a 3-skull instead of a 4-skull battle, but yeah, it's not what we signed up for. We want the whole challenge. Though, you know, I may come to regret that, but I think that's the fun of it. So, we are probably going to start moving on Initiative 2. I want to move potentially before that Atlas. Thunderbolt. Interesting. Rifleman 3N. Do need to kill that at some point, sooner rather than later, but this isn't a clan rifleman, so I mean the armor is actually pretty light. Looks like it took some friendly fire from something behind him as well. Or these guys are dropping in damage. It does happen sometimes, especially when there's a lot of opposition and the faction isn't great. You won't really see that often against the clans, or Comstar, or Word of Blake, but you will see it from time to time against pirates, periphery, factions, things like that. So, okay, so the Atlas does look like it's moving on too. I don't know if that's an Atlas. Ah, Mackie. Oh, okay. I think they hit. Yeah, okay. Take that. He missed us. He missed us and hit his own mech. That's pretty great. So, for those of you guys who don't know, Mackie is actually historically one of the first battle mechs made, and definitely the first assault mech made in the BattleTech lore. So that's pretty cool. I like that. But these guys are definitely pre-damaged because there's nothing on the field there that could do internal damage to that left leg and not strip off some armor in the process. They're not firing tandem rounds, I bet. Not even close. So we do have a bit of a problem here in that this Hollander really isn't going to be that safe. Relatively light armor, we usually keep him kind of up and far away from everything else going on. And now we have a bit of a choice, right? So we can pick what we want to start trying to damage. And this is a nice clustering, but I'd be hurting my own mechs, and when we're outnumbered 3 lances to effectively, a lance and a half, it's not really something we can afford to do. As soon as we can, we will be dropping the tank just as additional. I would shoot at the Mackie, but that 40% damage resist is not nothing, so instead we're going to shoot at the swordsman.
Firing all weapons.
Okay, so we did some scatter damage to a bunch of things. We missed backward, so farther back. Scattered some damage onto the rifleman as well. Yeah, that's not bad.
Commander.
So let's see if we can actually get this axe in here. Nope, it's too far. Oh, that sucks. Okay, well, if that's the case, can we get you around? So facing is going to be the issue with this axe pen, because if we come toward the lance on our right, we end up exposing our back to everyone else. So we might actually have to wait a minute before we go in and try to do something with that. But what I am thinking, though, is move right here, block some sight lines, using the crest of the hill, and let's see, we can rear shot the quick draw, 5A, 6 medium lasers, okay, or the guillotine. So our accuracy is better on the guillotine. Guillotine himself, I mean, it's still a lot of medium lasers. This is probably the best decision. I don't want to be firing the Inferno rounds for this. I want to fire the normal. And we'll fire HE on the ATM-9. I did rework this Timberwolf a little bit just because the SRM-6s are a bit more of a close-range blast. You can see that up here in the damage markers. 12 times 9 versus 3 times 9 times 6, right? So that is about a third better for us.
Copy that, Commander.
Otherwise we'll be bit of trouble with the audio there, but
Scored a critical hit.
that'll work out. So I mean, the intention was the more shots you fire too, the better crit seeking you have. With the SRM6s, I probably should have waited and maybe hit him in the back with the chameleon first. The reason I didn't do that is because if I come around here and I go to do that back hit, well, now my firing position from the Timberwolf doesn't exist. So we are going to come back here, go for a kick so we can keep the guns shooting. Oh, okay. So we stressed him out anyway. We did dig into the back of that mech a little bit there.
Mech destroyed.
Oh, shoot. Well, if we hadn't fired, if we just panicked him out, we would have gotten some salvage there, but we don't get to collect anything anyway, so it doesn't really matter that much. He's just barely inside the bounds there. So let's see what we can do with this Atlas. We're going to take the move with just one, I think, or can I get a rear shot? I can. Okay, that's what we're going to do. Alright, so we've got doubles in here, not clan doubles, regular doubles. Let's see what we can do. I don't want the AoE there, I want the normal. Yeah, I did put AoE on here just for hitting light mechs, things like that. Let's see what we can do. Yeah, okay.
There you go, folks. That's the way the MechWarrior crumbles.
If that Atlas gets behind a mech, it's just gonna stop existing, which is exactly what this guy's here for. So we're still on our first turn, and we've already taken out 2. We're probably looking at another 7 to 9 over here, depending on how many are in each one of these other lances. We won't know that until we take out the first one and we see everything on the field. What's tempting to do here is I think, yep, that's a rear shot. So we'll come in here with a kick and a rear shot on the Merlin.
Engaging.
And we're just going to try to completely clear out this one lance as quickly as we can, that way we can face the others without people shooting at our back.
Scored a critical hit.
So that Ostrak will probably have to finish the Merlin next turn, which I think it should be able to do. It's a little suboptimal there, but I guess we do what we have to. And we will, right down here, our evasion is not good, so we are going to take some hits on this next turn. My hope is to use the Hollander's tank drop to distract from that. Let's go ahead and pound into this guy. And okay, we had 92% chance to hit with every single shot. We landed 2 hits. So the odds of missing 2 of those in a row is what? 8% times 8%. That's infinitesimally small. But we pulled it off because we're just that talented. What can I say? Alright. So if that's the case, I still don't like these facings at all. If I do this, Merlin or the Rifleman can get around behind. But if I go here, everything is around behind, so... Okay, we'll do it. We'll just have to move that Axeman as quickly as humanly possible. I'm going to leave the Merlin alone because his back is more damaged than anything else. So that is some damage on the leg. We need to rip off the guns on this thing if we can. And if we could have landed the 4 plasma rifles, that would have been pretty excellent. So we'll remember that we missed those 2, and now I want to see when we can fire those 4 with 8% chances to hit and land 2 of them. So that would even the odds. So we don't have a tank airdrop. Okay. So that plan won't work because we don't have a tank airdrop. Alright. Let's move down to 7. I want to see what that swordsman does.
Enemy flanking.
Yep, that's that rear shot I was afraid of. 40% damage mitigation because of Slapdash's skills, so it really could be worse in that regard. But it's not something we want to rely on. If we come up here for kick, we can actually still fire. Let's go ahead and do that. That should hopefully take this rifle basically offline. 75 damage off the kick. There goes the leg, there goes the arm, I think the left torso as well. And to knock the sides, so that guy's basically taken care of now. Shouldn't have too much trouble getting rid of him. Let's reserve again. I'm kind of surprised I can't see that guy. Yeah.
Let's do this.
I do apologize for the audio. It's been doing that again since the update. I'm not really sure. It seems to be running a lot smoother, but then sometimes it'll do things like that. And I'll admit I don't quite understand. So we can kick this guy, potentially take out that leg if we get lucky. My fear is, okay, so they have 3 moving at 5. If they move him first, we lose our chance. But we don't really have good options in the field to kill him right now. So let's see what they do.
Standing by.
Did he just brace? This Merlin just braced. Oh my goodness gracious, that's amazing. We're gonna stand here and we're going to kick you in the ass and so we land the kick. And there goes the map. Yeah, that's why you shouldn't move when you had somebody behind you. Especially that Ostrak. Okay, rifleman shooting in, and move that Axeman still, but this is the difference between fighting these guys and fighting Clan, right? The last couple missions we had against the Clan, they probably would have been able to make those shots, right? Because their mechs have the positive mech quirks for it, their pilots have good gunnery skills and things like that, and their weapons are just better at hitting to begin with, so they have 3 different sources of being able to kill us that much better.
Yes,
which really gets a little bit tiring, to be honest. I don't love that facing, but I do want to try to use this mech to finish him off.
Engaging.
Okay, we land a kick on something. Yeah, and it's ejected. So that's 1 lance down already. All 3 of those look like main objectives, though, not side objectives, so we will have some trouble. Oh, okay, missed shot hits our Atlas. I don't think we'll get extra pay for having achieved that. But now we can go ahead and move the Axeman up. And this is why we built him to have sort of a mixed range armament. Right, so the AC-20 would be useless at this range, but the UAC-5, we should reasonably expect to hit one of those shots. The medium lasers we can reasonably expect to hit at least 2. And we do rip something open on that primitive swordsman. I want to see an actual swordsman, though, because, well, they carry a sword. And if I had one of those that was carrying a sword,
Damage is minor, Commander.
I would replace the Axeman in a heartbeat, because everyone knows
What's up, boss?
melee weapons' effectiveness is determined by how cool it is, and swords are cooler than axes, clearly. So artillery shot, because we can't land that tank in still. I think we can on the next turn. It's the 2-turn cooldown off the start. Ostrak takes a hit. Breaching
I'm
shot.
showing minor damage.
Alright, well, that's a little uncomfortable. Where did that go? Okay, right leg. That's not terrible. We can sort of move him over to our right and left face these guys some. Thunderbolt is getting into a bit of a worrisome position to get that AC-20 online, and you know, we kind of have to crash into this lance right here.
Commander?
Before it has a chance to do much else. So, what I'm thinking, let's get good evasion on the Timberwolf, because we're not going to have good accuracy regardless with everything we want to shoot with. And the SRM-6 it's a little extreme range for those. We might be better served cooling off some. So let's run up here.
Acknowledged.
Present a well-armored target with good evasion near the front of our lance, which is usually a decent idea. And I kind of want to go after this swordsman. So we're going to turn off the SRM-6s. That'll cool us down. Well, yeah, it's not bad. We may as well do that. And we could go in for Inferno just to mess with him, but this mech isn't going to build that much heat. And really the Inferno option was meant to add on to things that I'm already shooting at with plasma. So let's just do that. And we miss with both of our big guns, we hit with positive missiles. Of course we do.
But that hurt.
But we dug into the mech pretty well. To the ATMs again doing good work on their AG setting. Primitive Orion. And if we were facing, you know, Comstar with the SLDF variants of these mechs, I would be a little afraid. As it is though, not so much. So, okay, now we have the Atlas. Using it on the swordsman is a bit of a waste, although it really, I mean, this thing is so slow. Alright, can we get a good shot on? We start moving up around this way. Not a lot. Not a lot. So okay, so I think we will shoot at the swordsman. It is a bit of a waste, but we can't bring the 2 medium pulses online for pretty much anything too far away. We're going to turn off the SRM-6 so we can sink our heat for another alpha strike when we're closer in. And this is from a recoil penalty of 4. So again, announcer's gunnery skill needs to go up a little bit to reduce that penalty. You know, without the improved heavy Gauss, I think we will actually fire the SRM-6. It won't really do much, but a little bit of PFC can take us down. LRMs do good work. He's pretty lucky. So we've killed a lot of his guns, taken them offline. Yeah, okay. That was terrifying. Each of those could easily have hit the Atlas instead. And there's an ace pilot in that Mech, very nice. Oh well, this guy's been opened up in so many places.
Hey there.
Okay, here comes the tank airdrop, and we are going to go ahead and use this right away. I want a decent... Well, so if we put him in the center, it'll draw a lot of fire, and that's great. On this side, though, he might be able to get consistent fire on something. Let's put him right there. Why not? And we'll deploy the Behemoth again, our sacrificial Behemoth heavy tank. It's probably getting a little annoyed with us at this point. And surprisingly, it doesn't get shot at. So, you know, if it doesn't get shot at, it's a nice central position for a pretty good gun platform. So that works out in our favor. Either way, really. Okay, so we can come over this way, and I can pound those guns into Thunderbolt, but not great accuracy. It might be better. Might be a better choice to use them on that rifleman. Yeah, that looks good to me. So we'll go ahead and do that. And the Atlas, by the way, is carrying actually a clan ECM. It's a little bit lighter. Same effect in this, really, unless there's something that isn't stated. And we are cooking that rifleman. So if he shoots, he's pretty much going to shut down. Even as it is, we have enough heat on him that he might end up blowing one of those AC-5 ammo bins when his turn starts, which would be pretty nice for us. So we have a couple options. Our Chameleon is our fastest Mech, but it's not really our heaviest hitting. What I'm tempted to do is wait for him right now, and then go around here and start trying to pick on that Thunderbolt. Might be not the best move because, frankly, that AC-20 outguns the Chameleon on its own. Okay, there's a rifleman shooting in. He did fire with both of them. Well, he didn't fire the larges. Okay, Mech shut down. Very nice. Basically guarantees the Behemoth should shoot at it. It's by far the easiest target, most reliable damage right there. Is there anything I would want to move on 5? No, so let's just reserve. Let's let them take their shots and wind up in their new positions for next turn. Okay. Double large laser? Is that an Ost Scout? Looks kind of like an Ost Scout. Oh, Ostrock. There's Ostrock, Ostwar, Ost Scout. It's kind of annoying, to be honest. There's a 65 tonner back behind him. It's a relatively large drop. Okay, so the Behemoth heavy tank avoids that AC-20 decently well. It's nice. And what's moving on 4? So Primitive Orion AC-5 prototype is hot garbage.
Yes, boss.
Okay. So we're gonna get around the side here. 7 evasion pips on this Chameleon. It's quite nice.
Roger
Open
that.
up with everything as well. Actually missed more than I had expected. And yeah, I mean, that Thunderbolt is one tough cookie. We didn't really do much damage to its armor at all there. Behemoth is trying to fire. I'm interested to see what it shoots at.
Standing by.
So let's bring the Ostrock over, because I think we'll need both of them to take out that Thunderbolt. And we will actually precision strike here. You can't precision strike, sorry, you cannot precision strike while you melee. So we may as well use it, slow him down forward. And then on our next turn, we can hit him twice before he has a chance to move. Potentially rip off that left arm, which would be pretty good. So the Timberwolf could get up here and do an active probe ping. It would strip off a lot of evasion and accuracy, which would be pretty nice. But, I mean, it's hard to say no to all those guns at once, right? I'll tell you what though, we will do that.
Quick stepping in.
Why carry a tool if you never intend to use it? So we're going to active probe ping here. It's going to give us a lot more accuracy on our next turn. Even potentially save us some damage. Okay. Now we have the Axeman. And I think... well, I don't know. Going into that Hunchback 4P with that accuracy would be nice. We could leave the Rifleman to the mercy of our Behemoth tank. I'd feel like an idiot if I shot at it and the Behemoth still killed it. But I'd also feel like an idiot if I didn't shoot at it and the Behemoth didn't kill it. So I think what we're going to do, we're going to sprint up here. Not great positioning, I know. But we're going to try and kill that Primitive Swordsman, because there's no reason this mech should still be on the field. We may as well go at it. And yeah, so the UAC-5, the first shot, actually took that mech down. So at this point we're probably facing about 7 mechs on the field, which matches our own. We've successfully whittled that down from 12, so I'm feeling pretty good. And this is a 4-skull battle, right? But it's really the weakest 4-skull we'll ever fight against, because it's such a bad faction. It's a good testing ground. Really. If we couldn't handle this, then we wouldn't have been able to handle the next level up in terms of challenge. So I'm actually going to reserve and let the Behemoth shoot first. Let's see what it goes after. Yep, has enough missiles. I was surprised it survives, but of course, as I say that, it does. It's really not a threat, though. I mean, AC-5 large laser left, 26 on the center torso. We can kill that with something small, potentially even the artillery, because that is a well-placed shot with the Hunchback as well. So
Duncan Fisher here.
That, I think, actually determines our course of action. So that's some wonderful accuracy. Let's see what that would be against the Mackie, the Orion. If we battle lorded, we cook ourselves, but we could get a really good shot in against the Mackie. On the other hand, we don't need a battle lord to get a really good shot in against the Hunchback. And that Mackie, I mean, the AC-20 is dangerous, but you know, it's not that much more so than a laser bow Hunchback at close range. So we'll sprint up here. I wish I could put a heavier engine on that, and I want to eventually. But right now it's not really an option, so let's go ahead and go in, see what we can do, and we'll fire the normals on this instead of... I might replace that AoE with the normal if it proves to be not that useful. We only have, as it is, 6 volleys with the LRM-20 on normal ammunition, which is a little bit light. Ooh. Oh, you may left her so far. Really?
Something just went boom.
Alright. I mean, Hunchbacks are slow, but as I said before, there's a reason. We almost took out his head. That must have been the large laser, I think. We almost took off that left torso, but we didn't in either case, which is a little bit disappointing. So we'll move you up to here so that you're still out of harm's way. And let's see if we can go ahead and kill that rifle.
Giving them everything I've got.
And we do. Got some decent damage on the Hunchback as well. Okay. Not enough, though. Not enough. 13 on that. We need something with crit seeking, so ideally something with, say, SRM, something like that. Maybe the Timberwolf could go in after that Hunchback. Decent initiative, but I mean, the only thing moving before it would be this Marauder. And it feels like a little bit of a waste with such good disabling single target, well, non-scattering, I guess, damage. But on the other hand, we didn't actually take any of his guns off the field, so that Atlas shot was pretty much wasted as far as this round is concerned. that mech is basically as it was. I mean, yeah, he's unsettled, so he's a little bit worse at shooting, but I mean, not that much, really. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to Precise Strike, but not at the Hunchback. Not even at the Thunderbolt. We're going to go in at the Mackie, because it does need to die eventually. May as well get started. At AC-20, if it lands a hit, it will be a little bit unfortunate for us. But the heat damage there might not have been the best way going about that. Still, decent armor damage. I mean, each one of those deals 50, it's not like it's nothing. It's just that if we load it up on actual damage, we could land a bunch more. But the Mackie is now moving on 1, which is good for us as well. And now we're down to priority 6. I think I want to let them move on 5 first. Okay, so yeah, there it is. I know the Behemoth doesn't have any evasion. Go ahead.
Don't you know who I am?
They gave him the annoying voice, really? That sucks. Oh no, that must have been from a missile hitting announcer. Yeah, that explains it. Okay, so I want to get a rear shot with the Ostrak, which I can't do while meleeing.
Waiting for orders.
So I'll go ahead and take that melee with the Chameleon. It doesn't really do us any harm.
Heading
there.
out.
It does lose him his evasive. Which is good. He didn't have much to begin with, but still. Now their second guy here is going to move. Yep. Yep. There it is. And now we can come in with the Ostrak. Yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect. Okay. We don't even need a precision strike to get nearly perfect accuracy on most things. I mean, the small pulses, small lasers are never gonna be that great with arms. That thing. Thunderbolts have so much armor. Oof. Yeah, okay, I guess not. We scattered more than I thought we did. So this thing will have a chance close to use that close range. Chameleon's more vulnerable than the Ostrak here, in terms of damage mitigation and evasion. So that is a danger there, but hopefully not a catastrophic one. So now if we come in here, I do want to try out this visible weapon, but I mean the cost of it is just so high, right? If we go in with the kick, we fire the large pulse, that's 50. We fire the 3 medium lasers, that's another 60, so it's 110 total. Physical weapon, on the other hand, should go in for 130, so this is slightly better for us. And I want that facing to be relatively safe. So we're going to go in on his left side. This is better anyway in terms of damage spreading, because that left torso only has 13.
Moving to
let's go ahead and see what we can do. Okay, alright. That still looks like it only did half. Oh, nope, there's the second one. Okay. 2 instances, 65 damage each, adds to 130. I should have known he'd shoot at the Behemoth. But it's surviving, so that's good for us. Now we have the Timberwolf, and we're going to do exactly what this thing was made for. Moving on the sprint, and we're going to open up the Precise Strike, give me those SRM 6s, and let's see if we can dig through that rear seats. Yep, there it is. That's an Orion down.
I need a new target.
There are now 5 enemy mechs remaining, and at least, well, 2. Stop hitting my Timberwolf, please. 60 damage. That was a missed AC-10 shot. And Mackie has 1 evasion. Oh, are you kidding me? Oh, that's really obnoxious. Okay. Well, given that that's happened, I don't want to shoot this way again in case I miss and hit him with that improved Gauss rifle of all things. Would be damn near catastrophic. That kick doesn't fire with the improved heavy, which, I mean, that's sort of what this mech is for, is to use that improved heavy. So we're going to come up this way. A little bit of a dangerous facing, but not too crazy. And this should take the Hunchback right out of play. There it is. Lethal in 2 from the front. Is really not that bad. Okay, let's see what Mackie does. I was afraid it was going to turn around and pound that AC-20 in my unsteady timber wolf. That's what it probably would have done if there was a person behind it, but there's not, thankfully.
Ready for orders.
Okay. So we can precision strike with this thing to slow something down. We're going to do that on the Thunderbolt. To give both of those mechs a chance to shoot in from the rear arc on this guy before he has a chance to go. Should work out pretty well. I want a less dangerous angle, so we go here. It's not the best. We still have a chance of hitting our Timberwolf if we miss. But again, 8% chance to miss any chance. We should land at 4. And this time we do. Very nice. We're actually starting to cook the Mackie, even though it doesn't have that high of heat generation on its own. Let's see, what's our accuracy like inside of here? Yeah, okay. So we'll go just like that. And should we? No, there's really no use. We should save the precise strike for when we're trying to finish off these other 2 mechs, because that will be useful.
Here we go.
Okay, not bad. Not great. Like this chameleon again, it's not the most heavily armed of all of our mechs. Surprised the behemoth is still alive, but
Receiving you.
we're doing a good job taking guns off the field very quickly. So
Roger.
I think this is the first mission I can really say that our drop is truly quickly dangerous in unplanned situations.
Critical hit.
Alright, like where we're not coordinating 3-4 mechs at a single target specifically to take it down. And we're still able to do a smattering of good damage all around and take things off the board without too much trouble. So the Axeman now can... This is a little bit risky. Yeah, that's it. Okay, we're gonna wait on the Axeman move because I like that 40% damage mitigation right now, and I want the Thunderbolt to... Okay, so its AC-20's gone. Never mind. We're good. We're moving here. Let's do this. We've got a decent facing. We'll go in for physical weapon hit.
Moving out.
This will actually knock him down
Engaging.
in initiative because of our pilot perks. There it is right there. And we chunked 65 of that into CT, which is not bad at all. Okay, so now we have Barnell, and we need to get you to be way more stable than you are right now. So we're going to go into the forest. Yeah, forest here. A little bit long range on those SRM-6s. What we need is we need to pop that stability buff. Okay, what's this thing carrying anyway? Yeah, because that LRM-15 could knock us over if we really wanted to. We're just going to fire these HEs. Yeah, and actually we're going to... So Battlelord would cook us. Why is our heat sinking so poor? Interesting. I should probably put a heat bank on this, cut that damage generation by 10%. I want to, I just don't have any of them yet. Okay, there's another Mackie. And that Mackie's down. Very nice. I debated at the time if that Behemoth tank contract was even worth it, but I'd say at this point it's
What's that?
probably the best, 700,000 that I've spent in this game, by a long shot. So again, we could go up and kick him, and the kick does 100 damage. It's no slouch there, but I want to show off this heavy Gauss as much as we can. So we actually do have a +4 refire penalty here, and if we took a standard shot, we'd still have 82.6% chance to hit. This thing is just, it's an absolute monster. I love it. So let's go ahead and fire in. Whoa! All we needed was the Gauss. We didn't need anything else. That Gauss pounded right into the CT, took that mech out. Of course, there's no way to really know that. We would go into the CT beforehand, even with precision strike.
Waiting for orders.
and a frontal facing, it's not exactly reliable. So that's why I did fire everything else, but that was just beautiful. It's one of those shots where it works, you regret firing everything else, and if it doesn't, you feel like an idiot. So, yeah, it was definitely better to fire both. Can we get anything on the side here with a standard move? No? Not really. Well, we get close enough. Nope. Okay, so... No, go right to me, please. Let's do this. And we'll shoot in just because there's no reason not to at this point. Only hit 2. It's really not horrible for that. For the stated accuracy, anyway. And let's see how much is left. Okay. So we're gonna come around here.
Confirmed.
And we're gonna use the precise strike, because we don't need it now for the other things. I can take the field. Let's go for one Thunderbolt, and that makes now.
Hope we can salvage that.
If I was that last remaining pilot at this point, I think I would be, I think I'd probably be punching out. It's one thing if it was, you know, some give and take, where maybe he's the last one left, but they've destroyed like half our forces, and he wants to see if he can take one last thing down in some heroic last stand, yada yada, but that's very much not what's happening here.
Throttle down.
I don't even think we'll have any internal repair to do after this. We'll just roll right into the next one without any sort of delay at all here in terms of our mech bay. It's a bad angle. We're not taking advantage of the earlier damage, but that's okay. We don't really need to.
Yes, Commander.
Nope, that's a charge. I really wish that wasn't a charge there. But I think we're gonna stand still and precise strike you. That'll let the Timberwolf go, and I don't think you'll survive the Timberwolf.
Inflicted some heavy damage.
Okay, we got a leg. Thunderbolt's falling down. Okay.
I'm here.
Barn Owl. I want direct fire. Yep.
Location confirmed.
Okay. And yeah, this build is not heat efficient at all. It's meant to not usually have a target that's good for both the ER larges and the SRM6s. And I will turn off an ER large, and there we go. So we can still even shoot one of them, and which is not bad. And we'll go for that leg right there. Not the best chances to hit it. There it is, max offline.
Enemy eliminated.
And that was quicker than I thought our first 4-skull mission would be, but thank you guys for hanging around.
Mission successful.